the surprising way high spiritual women deal with disrespect. As Carl Jung once said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. What if I told you that the most spiritually awakened women no longer react to disrespect with anger, but with a calm so powerful it disrupts the pattern entirely? In today's episode of Spiritual Wisdom, we explore the profound, unexpected way high spiritual women transform disrespect into self-mastery. Before we dive in, have you ever dealt with disrespect in silence and strength instead of reaction? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else. And remember to like, share, and subscribe if you believe that your peace is your power. 1. Spiritual maturity means responding, not reacting. A spiritually mature woman no longer sees disrespect as an invitation to war, but as a mirror to her own self-mastery. She doesn't flinch when someone tries to belittle her. She doesn't chase closure or validation from the emotionally immature. Instead, she turns inward with calm intelligence, staying grounded in her spiritual wisdom. She's not cold, she's clear. She doesn't numb the sting, she feels it fully, as Carl Jung described in his idea of conscious suffering. But instead of letting pain hijack her power, she allows it to pass through her like a wave that never drowns her. Her response is rooted in awareness, not wounded ego. Her silence is not weakness, it is strategy, it is sacred restraint. In a noisy world, her peace becomes louder than any reaction. She knows that reacting is a form of energy leakage, and her energy is too divine to be wasted proving a point. She lets the insult hang in the air, untouched, while she walks away with dignity intact. Her boundaries are not threats, they are quiet, powerful signals. She no longer fights to be seen, she simply sees herself. She does not internalize the disrespect of others because she knows who she is beyond all projections. Her identity isn't shaped by how people treat her, but by how she holds herself through it. The most surprising power she holds is this: she doesn't seek to punish the offender. She transforms the entire dynamic by refusing to descend. Her detachment is not disconnection, it is elevation. Every disrespectful act becomes an opportunity to test her alignment. Will she meet it with chaos or with consciousness? The answer is always the same. She chooses to protect her peace. Her awareness becomes her defense. Her intelligence, her silence, and her restraint become her armor. Carl Jung believed that real transformation comes not from resistance, but from integration. And she, walking in spiritual wisdom, integrates her pain into power. She doesn't respond to provoke, she responds to stay whole. She doesn't react to control the outcome. She stays still to remain in control of herself. The world may call her distant, but the truth is, she's deep. Too deep to be baited into drama. Too evolved to be triggered by shallow noise. Too awakened to explain her worth to the unready. And because she no longer reacts, her energy becomes a mirror. Those who dishonor her are left to face their own reflection in the silence she leaves behind. This is the way of a woman who has turned pain into presence, who has learned that protecting her light is not selfish. It's sacred. Have you ever stayed calm and centered in the face of disrespect? If so, share your experience in the comments to inspire others on their spiritual path. If not, comment, "I choose peace," to begin aligning your energy with spiritual wisdom and emotional intelligence. Let's grow in grace together. 2. Disrespect is a mirror, not a definition. When a spiritually awakened woman is faced with disrespect, she doesn't react to prove her worth or correct the offender. She turns inward, not in weakness, but in extraordinary strength. Instead of asking, "Why are they treating me this way?" she asks the deeper question, "Why does this still hurt me?" This isn't self-blame, it's self-awareness. This is where spiritual awakening begins, not in resistance, but in reflection. As Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens." She knows disrespect is not a definition of her value. It is a mirror, revealing what within her still seeks healing. She doesn't take the insult personally. She listens for what old wound it reactivates, what childhood story it echoes, what part of her past it reopens. And in doing so, she reclaims her power by transforming reaction into revelation. She doesn't get lost in the drama of others because she understands the deeper truth. Every trigger holds a key to liberation. She practices shadow work with grace, making the unconscious conscious. Instead of suppressing emotion, she allows it to rise, to speak, to dissolve in the light of understanding. Her pain becomes a portal to spiritual wisdom. Her silence isn't retreat. It is a form of sacred alchemy. She lets go of the need to respond because her healing no longer depends on being heard by the one who hurt her. She is too spiritually intelligent to let someone else's behavior hijack her peace. She studies the moment not to punish herself, but to parent the parts of her that once felt abandoned, overlooked, or small. Disrespect no longer pulls her into chaos. It points her toward clarity. In a world obsessed with validation, she no longer plays the game. She no longer wastes her breath explaining herself to those committed to misunderstanding her. She doesn't need to convince, compete, or correct. Her presence is her response. Her boundaries are energetic. Her growth is invisible but undeniable. While others react, she observes. While others lash out, she lets go. Not because she's avoiding conflict, but because she's mastered her emotional frequency. She doesn't rise to every offense because she has risen above the need to prove her power. Her worth is no longer up for debate. She has nothing to defend because she has nothing to hide. And in that level of spiritual awakening, peace becomes her protest and silence becomes her power. She doesn't run from pain. She integrates it. She doesn't fight to be seen. She sees herself. And from that wholeness, disrespect loses its grip. It may echo, but it no longer defines. 3. Energy speaks louder than explanations. She no longer explains herself because her energy already tells the story. In her spiritual development, she's learned that not everyone deserves access to her inner world, and she doesn't feel the need to make them see her worth. She saves her breath, because trying to justify yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you is not only draining, it's unnecessary. Her calm presence, her graceful distance, her unshakable silence say more than 1,000 carefully chosen words ever could. She knows now that some people don't lack information. They lack capacity, and that is not her burden to carry. Spirituality has taught her that true power doesn't chase validation. It radiates from within. She holds her center like a quiet flame in a storm, untouchable, unbothered, unwavering, and her boundaries are not up for debate. They're energetic truths that are simply felt. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size." She no longer resists ignorance, she simply outgrows it. She no longer tries to be seen in places that require her to shrink. Instead of engaging in emotional labor for people who haven't earned it, she now observes in stillness and responds in alignment. She walks away with peace, not resentment. She detaches with clarity, not confusion. She's not cold, she's clear. She's not bitter, she's wise. Her silence is not absence, it is mastery. Because when you're deeply rooted in your own spirit, the need to defend yourself falls away. Her energy, sculpted by healing, discipline, and spiritual awakening, is now her voice. She no longer needs to be understood because she understands herself. She no longer needs to be liked because she likes her path. She no longer explains why she's unavailable to chaos because she no longer dances in it. She doesn't tell people they've lost access. She simply stops granting it. She doesn't announce her boundaries. She lives them. She doesn't warn people about how they've crossed the line. Her distance makes it obvious. Spirituality has sharpened her discernment and softened her reactions. Where she once fought to be heard, she now listens to the energy. Where she once begged to be seen, she now sees herself. Where she once over-explained, she now simply exits. Her presence teaches, her peace protects, and her detachment heals. And in a world addicted to noise, her silence is revolutionary. 4. Embodied boundaries and somatic wisdom. She doesn't argue with discomfort. She reads it like scripture. Her body is no longer something she ignores or explains away. It is her first language, her earliest warning system, and her most loyal protector. When a situation feels wrong, she doesn't wait for evidence to validate her intuition. She trusts the shift in her breath, the tension in her chest, the weight in her stomach. These are not signs of fear. They are signs of wisdom. Carl Jung spoke of the body as a mirror of the unconscious, and she lives that truth. Her nervous system is not overreacting, it's communicating. She has learned that her energy reacts faster than her intellect can respond, and so she follows the current of her sensations before the mind even begins its reasoning. This is not hypervigilance. It is somatic intelligence, the kind of spiritual wisdom that doesn't need permission to move away, to say no, to leave a room without explanation. There is no performance in her power. She doesn't try to look strong. She is strong in the quiet, in the stillness, in the decision not to engage. Where others feel the urge to explain their boundaries or defend their choices, she simply embodies them. She no longer wastes her energy on justifying her intuition. She knows that when she used to override her discomfort to be polite, she was betraying herself. Now, she lets the discomfort speak, and she listens. There is a certain kind of intelligence that comes only from having been disrespected enough to know what it feels like in your skin before it happens. That intelligence now lives in her posture, in her voice, in her ability to walk away and not return. She does not need closure from the person who caused the pain. She creates her own closure through clarity and choice. Her silence isn't avoidance. It is sacred protection. She does not need to be loud to be clear. She does not need to be aggressive to be powerful. The moment her spirit detects misalignment, she shifts, not out of fear, but out of devotion to her peace. Carl Jung taught that wholeness is not achieved by cutting off parts of the self, but by integration, and she has integrated her sensitivity into her strength. Her calm is not weakness, it is the highest form of self-respect. When you watch her move, you realize she's not reacting. She's reading the room energetically, scanning for what aligns and what disturbs her nervous system. She's not dramatic, she's discerning. And her discernment is no longer up for debate. What makes her rare is not her perfection, but her refusal to abandon herself. She has learned that not every battle deserves her presence, not every insult deserves a reply, and not every person deserves access to her energy. The disrespect she once internalized has now become the compass that guides her back to herself. When someone crosses the line, she doesn't rage. She recedes. Her retreat is not weakness, it is wisdom. Her absence becomes her boundary. Her stillness becomes her stance. She doesn't need to be punished. She just no longer participates. And that, in itself, is her revolution. If you've ever chosen peace over proving your point, comment below. Energy speaks louder than explanations. Let the world know you've stepped into your spiritual power. 5. Withdrawal is not weakness, but wisdom. Withdrawal is not a collapse, it is a conscious elevation. A high spiritual woman no longer tolerates cycles that strip her of energy and clarity just to appear kind, loyal, or forgiving. She no longer performs emotional labor to maintain illusions of peace. Her silence is not passive, it is deliberate. Her absence is not petty, it is sacred. Carl Jung taught us that individuation, the process of becoming whole, requires separating from what no longer serves the soul. So when she walks away, it is not to teach others a lesson, it is to remember her own. She does not need to announce her boundaries, she becomes them. She does not explain her worth, she embodies it. She does not beg to be heard in places that refuse to listen. Her spirituality has sharpened her discernment. She knows that love without respect is not love, and presence without peace is not presence. She no longer confuses endurance with grace. Staying in disrespectful dynamics is not spiritual maturity, it's spiritual amnesia. Her awakening means remembering who she is, what she carries, and why she can't shrink to fit anymore. Her retreat is not a loss of faith, it's the deepest expression of it. Because to choose yourself when the world expects self-sacrifice is a radical act of spiritual self-love. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This woman has made the unconscious conscious. She sees the patterns, the projections, the emotional traps, and instead of reacting, she releases. She no longer explains herself to those committed to misunderstanding her. She knows her departure may look like coldness, but it is actually clarity wrapped in silence. She knows her detachment may be misread as pride, but it is protection rooted in purpose. In modern life, this can feel like distancing from family, ending long-standing friendships, or stepping away from careers that suffocate. But the high spiritual woman no longer fears disappointing others when choosing alignment. She no longer abandons herself to maintain connection. Her presence is now a privilege, not a plea. And if being distant is the only way to preserve her peace, she chooses that distance with grace. Her energy is her responsibility. Her wisdom is hard-earned. Her withdrawal is not rejection, it is a realignment with her highest frequency. Not everyone will understand, and that's okay. The goal is not to be understood by all, but to be at peace with herself. Because in a world that calls silence weakness and walking away defeat, she knows the truth. It takes divine strength to let go of what you once begged to keep. Stay connected to our community of spiritual wisdom by subscribing to the channel. Here, we explore the strength behind stillness and the intelligence behind withdrawal. Remember, choosing peace over reaction isn't weakness. It's a sign of deep spiritual awakening. 6. Disrespect becomes alchemy for growth. Each time a high spiritual woman is disrespected, she doesn't see it as a wound. She sees it as raw material for transformation. Her instinct is not to retaliate, but to reflect. She doesn't respond from emotion, but from evolution. She asks herself, with grounded calm and fierce clarity, what is this moment asking me to see within myself? In doing so, she reclaims her energy. She refuses to let her identity be shaped by the projections of others. Instead of internalizing the insult, she turns inward, like an alchemist standing before a crucible, and transmutes that sting into strength. Carl Jung taught that the path to wholeness comes not through resistance, but integration, and she lives this truth. The disrespect becomes her initiation, not her undoing. The pain becomes the portal, and what others meant to diminish her only sharpens her perception. She doesn't collapse into chaos. She rises in clarity. This isn't spiritual bypassing. This is spiritual development in its most embodied form. Her spirituality doesn't dissolve the discomfort, it reinterprets it. The sharp comment, the dismissive tone, the subtle exclusion don't go unnoticed. But instead of spiraling into reaction, she uses them as a diagnostic tool to measure where she still clings to external validation. She no longer begs the world to see her. She sees herself, and that self-perception becomes a force field. She walks through rooms quietly altering the energy, not because she demands respect, but because she respects herself so deeply that anything less becomes irrelevant. What once would have caused her to shrink now expands her. Her boundaries are not built from bitterness, but from inner peace. She doesn't defend herself in loud arguments. She exits with calm authority. Her withdrawal is not a weakness, it's wisdom. She is not escaping the moment. She is elevating it. Disrespect no longer feels like rejection. It feels like redirection. Each experience becomes a signal, pointing her toward another layer of healing. She no longer asks, "How dare they?" but instead, "Why did this find me? And what am I meant to understand now?" This is the essence of intelligence and spirituality. She is not numb. She is not naive. She is neurologically rewired to remain centered. That is her superpower, emotional regulation, as spiritual protection. She doesn't lower her frequency to match the chaos. She becomes the observer, the mirror, the silence that reveals the noise for what it is. She no longer loses herself trying to explain her worth. She lets her presence speak. She lets her peace unsettle what cannot coexist with it. And in this practice, she turns every moment of disregard into a deeper embodiment of her truth. Not through ego, but through energy. Not through force, but through frequency. 7. Presence as power, not performance. She no longer seeks validation because she no longer doubts her value. Her presence alone becomes a statement. It isn't performance, it's power. She walks into the room without needing to explain herself, and yet, everyone adjusts. This shift isn't forced, it's energetic. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And that's exactly what she's done. She has faced rejection, betrayal, disrespect, and instead of collapsing under it, she's allowed those wounds to shape a stronger center. Her dignity isn't loud. It's felt. It moves through the atmosphere like gravity, invisible but undeniable. When people disrespect her now, she doesn't flinch or fight. She doesn't shrink or overcompensate. She doesn't try to fix what isn't hers to carry. Instead, she observes. She redirects her energy inward, not because she's avoiding conflict, but because she knows real power isn't reactive, it's intentional. This is the kind of spiritual intelligence that's born through fire and refined in silence. In her silence, there is clarity. In her distance, there is wisdom. She no longer over-explains, over-apologizes, or overextends herself just to be accepted. She knows that not every comment deserves a response. Not every invitation deserves a yes. And not every disrespectful act deserves her attention. Her emotional boundaries are no longer something she negotiates. They are her natural rhythm. She has learned the art of detachment, not as avoidance, but as a form of sacred self-respect. Disrespect doesn't disrupt her inner peace anymore because she has disarmed the parts of her that once needed to be seen, needed to be chosen, needed to be heard. She's not cold. She's conscious. She's not distant. She's discerning. She doesn't suppress emotion. She transcends the trigger. Her spiritual awakening wasn't a moment. It was a slow return to her truth, layer by layer. She realized that being reactive was never a sign of strength. It was a sign of woundedness. Now, her strength is in how little she needs to react. Her worth is not dependent on external approval. Her joy is not conditional. Her peace is not performative. She becomes a mirror to others, not by projecting perfection, but by standing firmly in authenticity. She doesn't need to explain her growth. She lives it. Her energy speaks for her. Her stillness has become a spiritual shield, one that blocks what doesn't align and attracts only what resonates with her frequency. And this isn't luck, it's alignment. It's the reward of choosing self-awareness over self-abandonment. She no longer seeks to be everything for everyone. She is fully herself for herself. She is the walking embodiment of inner truth. Her children feel it. Her friends are changed by it. And strangers are softened in her presence without even knowing why. She's the lighthouse, not the rescuer. She holds her center while others find theirs. She has become calm in the chaos, not because life got easier, but because she got clearer. This is the kind of woman Carl Jung pointed to when he spoke of individuation, the sacred process of becoming whole. She doesn't compete. She doesn't chase. She doesn't crumble. She remembers. She protects her peace like a temple because it is the home she finally built within herself. And in doing so, she becomes the rarest kind of power, one that never has to announce itself to be known. To honor your inner power, affirm it out loud. Comment below, "I am powerful in my presence." To declare your quiet strength and inspire others to embody their spiritual wisdom without performance. Thank you for joining us on this powerful journey into the inner strength of high spiritual women. If this message resonated with your soul or sparked a shift in how you view self-respect and emotional mastery, don't keep it to yourself and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you found value in this exploration of spiritual wisdom through Carl Jung's lens, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom, and tap the notification bell so you never miss the insights that can elevate your journey. Until next time, stay grounded, stay wise, and always walk in the power of your truth. Carl Jung reveals, you are a living karma. People regret how they treated you. As Carl Jung once said, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Think about that for a moment. Every action, every choice, every way someone treats you becomes part of a greater story of karma. Life has a mysterious way of balancing itself, and one day people may regret how they treated you. But instead of waiting for that day, the real power lies in how you choose to rise, to transform, and to live with wisdom. So as you listen today, ask yourself, how can I apply these principles of spiritual wisdom to grow, to heal, and to step fully into my happiness? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your voice might be the spark someone else needs. 1. People regret mistreating you. When people mistreat you and later regret it, it is never just about emotions or broken relationships. It runs much deeper. Carl Jung reminded us that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And your presence forces people to face that unconscious truth. As a chosen one, you embody a rare form of spirituality that unsettles those who are not ready for growth. Your energy works like a mirror, reflecting their hidden fears, their insecurities, and their unresolved shadows. Some resist that reflection, refusing accountability, rejecting development, and mocking the very light that was sent to bless them. But the moment you step away, the absence of your spiritual presence shifts the balance of their lives. What once brought them peace, healing, and wisdom is gone, and they are left to wrestle with the consequences of their actions. You carry a divine light that not only guides your own path, but also illuminates the darkness in others. When people betray, deceive, or dismiss you, they are not simply harming you. They are rejecting the higher frequency of spirituality you brought into their lives. And the universe, which always seeks balance, responds with precision. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." Those who choose manipulation, envy, or deceit align themselves with negativity, and karma begins its work. When you leave, you take your sacred energy with you, and suddenly they notice opportunities fading, relationships collapsing, and inner peace replaced by chaos. At first, denial blinds them. Pride convinces them they are unaffected. Yet time has a way of revealing truth, and gradually they realize that life was smoother, lighter, and fuller when you were near. Regret becomes their silent companion. They watch you from a distance, hoping you have stumbled, but instead they see you thriving, rising higher, and walking in alignment with your destiny. That success becomes their unspoken punishment, not because you sought revenge, but because the universe restores balance. As written in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, "Do not be deceived, God is not mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Your elevation becomes living proof that spiritual development always triumphs over betrayal and dishonor. Every new level you reach takes you into a frequency that cannot be accessed by those who mistreated you unless they choose humility, healing, and self-awareness. But not everyone is prepared for that path. Healing demands courage, and many would rather linger in regret than confront their shadows. That is why they remain as spectators, observing your growth while chained by their own choices. Yet their regret is not your responsibility. You are not here to soothe their conscience or carry their lessons. You are here to grow, to embody greatness, and to fulfill the divine plan over your life. No betrayal can block what has been written for you. So let them watch and let them wonder, but never let their regret hold you back. Your presence is rare, your energy is sacred, and your journey is designed to elevate you beyond the reach of those who once underestimated you. Each step forward is proof that your spiritual development cannot be hindered by the past. Continue to rise, continue to trust the balance of karma, and remember that your destiny is unfolding exactly as it should. Are you ready to step into your power and let the universe handle the rest? If so, comment below. I rise above to affirm your strength and embrace your journey forward. 2. Chosen ones are living karma. You were never just another person in people's lives. You were the catalyst, the mirror, and the consequence. When people crossed paths with you, their true nature was revealed. Some received blessings beyond measure because they honored your light, while others were confronted with the collapse of the illusions they had carefully built. As you stepped into your spiritual awakening, your presence exposed intentions, revealed deception, and carried the weight of truth that could not be denied. Many who once underestimated or mistreated you now live with regret, realizing too late that you were divine energy walking among them. When they betrayed you, manipulated you, or tried to discard you, they unknowingly signed a karmic contract with themselves. The way they treated you was never really about you. It was a reflection of their inner wounds, their unresolved battles, and their lack of alignment with truth. You were not just a person to be used or played with. You were a force of truth, and truth always carries consequences. Now, they sit in silence, replaying the memories, haunted by what they lost and by the realization that they cannot undo the damage they created. Your energy has always been pure, and purity cannot exist with deception. When you enter someone's life, your light shines so brightly that it illuminates the shadows they tried to hide. This is why many felt discomfort around you. It was not you they resisted, but the truth your presence awakened within them. Some chose to embrace that light, using it as a chance to grow and transform, while others clung to their lies, resisting change, only to learn that karma is patient. The more they resisted, the harsher the lessons became, until life itself forced them to face the truth they tried to escape. Every soul that crossed your path faced a choice: to align with truth or to be consumed by their own falsehoods. Those who chose truth experienced blessings, clarity, and spiritual growth because your energy elevated them. Those who operated in deceit, jealousy, or manipulation found their worlds crumbling, not because you wished them harm, but because lies cannot withstand the weight of divine presence. When they mistreated someone carrying spiritual wisdom, they set in motion the collapse of their own foundations, and what they built on falsehoods could not endure. Even if you cannot always see it, the regret is there. They watch from a distance, seeing your growth, hearing of your success, and feeling the loss of what they once took for granted. Some will try to return, desperate to repair what they shattered, while others remain silent, unable to face the truth of their actions. Their karma, however, is not your burden to carry. Your only duty is to continue rising, to walk boldly in your spiritual power, and to let your light shine without apology. You are living proof that spirituality is not just an idea, but a force that awakens, transforms, and restores balance. You are a mirror of truth, and through you, others are forced to see who they really are. Comment below, "I am a mirror of truth," if you embrace your power to reveal and transform. Let your presence be the force that awakens those around you. 3. You are both a blessing and a warning. You are both a blessing and a warning, a mirror that reveals what others try to hide within themselves. For those ready to evolve, your presence is a light that guides them toward transformation. But for those who resist change, you awaken shadows they would rather ignore. Some respond with gratitude, while others react with jealousy, resentment, or even betrayal. Yet the truth remains, no one meets you and stays the same. As Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." You embody this very truth, and through you, people are forced to confront what lies deep within. Those who lied to you, betrayed you, or abandoned you once believed their actions would carry no consequence. But life has a way of restoring balance with precision. What they thought was weakness in you has become their greatest lesson, because losing you was never just an accident. It was karma unfolding, a divine test they failed. Even those who pretend not to care cannot silence the weight of your memory. In quiet moments, they replay conversations, revisit choices, and wish they could go back. You were not just another person in their story. You were the awakening they were not ready for, a reminder of what they could have gained had they chosen growth instead of fear. The pain they caused was meant to break you, but instead, it became the catalyst for your transformation. Their betrayal carved the path for your strength. Their rejection ignited your wisdom, and their absence opened the space for you to align with your higher purpose. As you rose into this strength, you no longer sought validation from those who could not see your worth. You began to embody your truth with confidence, walking forward not as someone wounded, but as someone reborn. And now they watch you thrive, realizing too late that they were given a rare opportunity to grow beside you. But instead, they resisted the very light that could have elevated them. Their regret is not only about losing you, it is about knowing they turned away from a divine chance to evolve. You are not here to be mistreated or undervalued. You are here to embody intelligence, spiritual wisdom, to awaken those who are ready and to expose those who are not. When people betray or reject you, it is never a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their own limitations. Karma ensures balance, not out of revenge, but to remind every soul that choices carry consequences. As Rumi once wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Your wounds became the gateway to your awakening, and your scars became the map of your strength. You are not chasing love, respect, or recognition. You are attracting them naturally by living your truth. And as you walk forward, you remind the world that your journey is not only about you, but about awakening everyone who crosses your path. 4. You are a reflection and a test. You were never just another person walking through life. You were always a mirror, a reflection of truth that others could not ignore. Simply by being yourself, you revealed the hidden nature of those around you. Some felt uplifted and inspired in your presence because your light awakened the part of them that longed for growth. Others, confronted by their own shadows, rejected you, mistreated you, or even betrayed you. Their treatment of you was never about your worth. It was always a reflection of their own inner struggles. As Carl Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. In this sense, you are living karma, a reminder that no one can escape the energy they release into the world. Your energy works like a spiritual mirror, exposing what lies beneath the surface. Those who are honest and aligned with growth recognize you as a blessing. They see in you wisdom, resilience, and authenticity, and they are drawn closer to their own truth through your presence. But those who live in dishonesty and illusion feel threatened by you. Your light unsettles them, reminding them of their own shortcomings. And instead of confronting themselves, they project their discomfort onto you. They may belittle you, disrespect you, or try to dim your presence, but none of this defines you. Their actions are only proof of their own fear and insecurity. This is why some people feel peace around you, while others carry resentment. Those who cherish you are walking in alignment with truth. They feel your energy as guidance. Those who resist you are clinging to falsehood, unable to face what your presence reveals. In modern life, you can see this clearly in relationships, workplaces, and friendships. Genuine souls will honor you, while insecure ones will compete, gossip, or try to undermine you. But their reactions are not yours to carry. You are not meant to shrink yourself to ease their discomfort. The universe balances everything, and the law of karma never fails. When people mistreat you, they set the stage for their own lessons. Life has a way of circling back, showing them the cost of their choices. You don't need to seek revenge or prove anything. The same people who overlooked or betrayed you will one day regret it, not because you wish for it, but because they will feel the emptiness of losing your energy. Your presence is not replaceable, and its absence becomes a silent teacher. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand apart as a beacon of truth. Being chosen comes with challenges, isolation, misunderstanding, and betrayal. Yet it also comes with divine protection. Every difficulty strengthens your spirit and deepens your wisdom. Your task is not to fight battles already taken care of by the universe, but to keep shining, keep walking, and trust the path unfolding before you. Those meant to journey with you will find you, and those who cannot handle your light will remove themselves. Your presence alone is enough. You are living karma, a reflection of truth and proof that no one escapes the energy they put into the world. If this message resonates with you, comment below, "I am a mirror," to embrace your true reflection and attract clarity into your life. 5. You trigger change in people. There is a power within you that you may not even recognize, yet others feel it the moment they are in your presence. Carl Jung reminded us that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And this is exactly why your energy unsettles people. You are not trying to intimidate or expose them, but your very being becomes a mirror reflecting the parts of themselves they work so hard to hide. Your presence draws out their shadows, their unspoken guilt, their buried insecurities, and that is why some people feel nervous, restless, or even threatened around you. Gloria Steinem's words capture this perfectly. The truth will set you free, but first it will make you uncomfortable. You are that uncomfortable truth, a living reminder of what they are avoiding within themselves. Because of this, some may distance themselves or even mistreat you, not because you are in the wrong, but because your light reveals what they cannot bear to face. They may mock you, betray you, or dismiss your kindness, but every action is just a reflection of their inner conflict. Yet life is always ruled by balance, and spiritual wisdom teaches us that energy will always return to its source. The love you give, the patience you show, the light you carry, all of it will come back multiplied. And the pain, dishonesty, or cruelty directed towards you will also circle back, not through your revenge, but through the natural laws of karma. In time, those who underestimated you will see their actions clearly, and regret will rise in their hearts. By then, you will already be beyond their reach, elevated into a higher state of spiritual development, where their opinions no longer matter. Gandhi once said, "First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win." And your life is proof of this timeless truth. You don't need to fight back or prove your worth. Your growth is your victory. Your transformation is your answer, and your success is your karma. Without any effort to harm them, those who mistreated you will face the very lessons they tried to avoid. Life will orchestrate moments that mirror their behavior, and when that time comes, they will remember how they treated you. But their regret is not a weight for you to carry. It belongs to them. Your only responsibility is to keep walking your path, to keep shining, and to keep rising higher in your divine purpose. As another wise saying goes, when you are truly powerful, you do not need to harm others. Your energy alone rearranges the universe, so never shrink to make others feel comfortable. Never dim your light for spaces that were never designed to hold it. You are not here to fit in. You are here to shift energies, to awaken truth, and to embody transformation. Spirituality is not about pleasing everyone. It is about living as proof that light always overcomes shadow. Those who mistreated you will eventually look back with regret, but by then, you will already be walking in your destiny, radiant and untouchable. Your life itself is a lesson in spiritual wisdom, and your energy is the undeniable reminder that the universe always brings balance. If this message resonates with you, affirm your power in the comments. My energy transforms everything around me. I embrace my divine presence and limitless potential. 6. You disrupt illusions. You disrupt illusions simply by existing, because your very energy carries a force that unsettles those who hide behind deception. You do not need to expose lies with effort, for your essence itself reflects truth. When you enter a room, facades begin to crumble, not because you attack them, but because authenticity naturally dissolves what is false. Those who resist change feel uncomfortable in your presence, and instead of admitting that your light reveals their shadows, they project blame onto you. They see you as the cause of their unease, when in reality, you are the mirror reflecting what they do not wish to face. For some, you embody living karma. You do not wish harm upon anyone, but your spiritual awakening acts as a constant reminder of the integrity and courage they lack. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." In the same way, your presence forces others to confront what they hide. And when they are not ready, they turn to criticism, rejection, or attempts to dim your light. They do not realize that their discomfort is not about you, but about their resistance to transformation. Deep down, they know your very being urges them to evolve, yet they remain in the battle they are unwilling to fight. You have been underestimated many times. Your kindness was mistaken for weakness, your silence for ignorance. People thought they could take advantage of your generosity, only to later feel the emptiness when you withdrew. Regret then begins to haunt them, for they remember dismissing you, rejecting your wisdom, or trying to wound your spirit, only to discover they are stuck in cycles you broke free from long ago. While they remain bound by illusions, you rise higher, embrace peace, and transform pain into strength. As Jung said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." And you chose growth. Your journey was never about revenge or proving yourself. You never needed validation from those who could not see your worth. Every betrayal and every rejection became a divine test, shaping you into someone unshakable. You walked through the fire, not to be destroyed by it, but to emerge purified and resilient. That is the essence of intelligent spiritual wisdom. It is not merely seeing the truth, but embodying it with every step. Never dim your light to make others comfortable. Those meant for you will recognize and honor your truth, while those who resist will only reveal their own nature. You are not here to please. You are here to awaken, to inspire, and to heal. When people regret how they treated you, it is not your burden to carry, for that lesson belongs to them. Your presence alone is a catalyst for transformation. And though not everyone can handle it, those who are destined will be drawn to your light. Keep walking in alignment, for your path is sacred, and your awakening is the proof that truth cannot be silenced. If you're ready to break free from illusions and embrace the truth, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's awaken together. 7. Your silence is powerful. Those who once mistreated you, belittled you, or tried to manipulate your spirit will eventually face the undeniable truth that they were wrong about you, because your silence was never weakness, but a force they could not comprehend. They thrived on your reactions, feeding off your anger, your explanations, your attempts to defend yourself, and they believed their control depended on how deeply they could pull you into their chaos. But when you chose to master yourself, when you stopped responding and refused to engage, everything they built crumbled. Silence stripped away their illusions and exposed the emptiness of their power. Suddenly, their words echoed back to them. Their manipulation turned into noise they could no longer escape, and the darkness they tried to project outward forced them to confront itself. There is profound spiritual wisdom in this choice. Silence is not surrender. It is elevation. It is the act of rising above the battlefield and refusing to wrestle in the mud with those who crave your energy. As the saying goes, never wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty, but only the pig enjoys it. By walking away, you shift the power dynamic, because the moment you remove yourself, they lose access to your light, your patience, and your sacred energy. In modern life, whether in relationships, workplaces, or friendships, this truth repeats itself when you stop explaining, stop defending, and simply move forward. You reclaim your peace and declare that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on chaos. Those who wronged you are left to sit in the misery they once tried to inflict upon you. Without your kindness, without your presence, without your light, their world feels hollow. and regret takes root. And here lies the divine truth. You are their karma. Not by seeking revenge, not by lowering yourself to their level, but simply by continuing to live in alignment with your truth. Your growth, your success, your serenity become proof that their attempts to break you only made you stronger. This is the essence of spirituality and spiritual awakening. To rise above manipulation, to transform pain into power, and to let your very existence be the mirror that reflects their mistakes back to them. Every step you take in silence, every moment you choose peace over reaction, becomes a declaration that your soul cannot be controlled. They may regret how they treated you, but by the time they awaken to your worth, you will already have ascended beyond their reach. Your silence is power, your energy is sacred, and your elevation is the greatest response of all. Stay connected with our community of wisdom by subscribing to our channel. Here, we uncover the truth about energy, manipulation, and self-mastery, empowering you to rise above negativity. Remember, your peace is your power. Choose silence, walk away, and let them face their own darkness. 8. You were sent to stand out, not fit in. You were never meant to blend into the background, because the universe designed you to stand out. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And your true self carries an energy that cannot be hidden. Without forcing, without demanding, your very presence shifts the atmosphere. People feel something stir inside them when they meet you, even if they cannot name it. Some are inspired, awakened to their own journey of self-discovery, while others feel exposed because your light uncovers the shadows they have been trying to bury. This is why you have known betrayal, rejection, and resistance, not as proof of weakness, but as evidence of the deep truths your spirit reveals to those who come close. Your energy does not attract attention because you seek it, but because your soul vibrates at a frequency that demands change. No one can stay stagnant around you. They are either inspired to rise higher, or their hidden nature surfaces, showing who they really are. That is why you may have been dismissed, disrespected, or taken for granted in past relationships. Those who mistreated you failed to recognize that they had been given the rare opportunity to walk beside someone carrying intelligence, spiritual wisdom, and a soul awakened to its divine essence. Now, as you grow stronger, they carry the weight of regret, realizing too late that your presence was not just company, it was transformation. You do not need to chase revenge or force people to regret how they treated you, because your life itself is karma in motion. The universe balances what you cannot. The lessons you left in the lives of others echo long after you have moved forward. Some will one day realize they stood in the presence of someone extraordinary, someone whose light was a gift. But by the time that revelation arrives, you will already have stepped into a greater version of yourself, rising higher, walking with clarity, and aligned with your divine calling. Jung reminds us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. You were the mirror that forced them to see what they tried to hide, and now their fate is to live with the truth they once denied. To be chosen is to embrace the solitude that sometimes comes with the path. It means accepting that not everyone is meant to stand beside you. Some drift away, not because you are unworthy, but because they are unready for the transformation your presence demands. Do not dim your light to ease their discomfort. You were born to awaken, to heal, and to inspire. The universe has placed you exactly where you need to be, surrounded by those who are ready to rise with you, while others fall away by the natural law of growth. Every rejection, every betrayal, and every ounce of regret others carry is simply part of the design that pushes you closer to your destiny. Stay unwavering, because your journey is unfolding with divine precision. Let people remember you, regret losing you, and learn from the absence of your energy. You were never created to fit in. You were created to stand out as a living reminder that light cannot be hidden. This is the essence of spiritual awakening, the intelligence of spiritual wisdom, and the sacred truth of walking as your authentic self. 9. Solitude was part of your journey. There were moments when solitude pressed against your heart like an unbearable weight, when the people you trusted turned their backs, and relationships that once felt unshakable suddenly fell apart. Yet that solitude was never a curse. It was a blessing in disguise, a divine stage of preparation. The universe was not abandoning you, but refining you, sharpening your vision, deepening your intuition, and strengthening your inner power so you could carry the kind of wisdom that cannot be taught by comfort. In the stillness of those lonely hours, you found clarity to see through deception, resilience to rise from betrayal, and courage to continue even when no one else stood beside you. As Rumi said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you," and every wound you carried became the opening through which your light poured. Once, you were dismissed, underestimated, and even mocked. Your kindness was misread as weakness, your loyalty taken for granted. But now those same people watch from afar, filled with regret. They sense the shift in your energy, the undeniable presence you carry, the aura of wisdom and strength that demands respect. You have become divinely set apart, and in losing you, they lost a blessing they never understood. Their regret is their karma, the return of their own choices, the echo of every moment they failed to honor what was sacred. You never needed revenge, because your transformation itself became the answer. The universe worked on your behalf, and your thriving became the most powerful response to betrayal. As Carl Jung revealed, until people make the unconscious conscious, it directs their lives, and they call it fate. Those who wronged you now confront the consequences of their unconscious actions, seeing clearly only after you have risen beyond them. Your existence, your success, your healing, these speak louder than any words of retaliation could. The law of energy is simple. What we give is what we receive, and their own choices have returned to them. You are no longer the person they once knew. You have elevated, healed, and embraced your spiritual power. Spirituality and spiritual development have transformed you into someone aligned with a greater destiny, one that surpasses the imagination of those who doubted you. Your solitude was not abandonment, but sacred preparation, a divine pause to reconnect you with your higher calling. It was never about who left or who stayed. It was about awakening the light within you that no one could take away. Do not dwell on the past or waste your energy on those who failed to see your worth. Walk boldly into your destiny, trusting that divine timing has always been on your side. Your life now stands as living proof that pain can transform into wisdom, betrayal into strength, and solitude into awakening. And as those who once underestimated you look on with regret, they will finally understand you were never just another person in their story. You were the lesson their soul had to learn. If this message resonates with you, comment, "I am grateful for my transformation," to affirm your journey. Your solitude was never abandonment. It was preparation. 10. Your energy is unstoppable. Your energy is unstoppable, carrying a frequency that no manipulation or attack could ever suppress. Because what sustains you is not external, but deeply spiritual, a force that no human hand can take away. Many mistook your humility for weakness and your kindness for naivety, believing they had control over your destiny. Yet you were always aware, always discerning, sensing the betrayals before they unfolded, and choosing not to fall into the trap of proving them wrong, but to remain faithful to proving yourself right. Now, as you rise into your true power, those who once sought to diminish your light are forced to watch from the shadows, unable to ignore the brilliance of your transformation, because spiritual awakening does not shrink under pressure. It expands, it elevates, it transforms, and you, the chosen one, are the very embodiment of transformation. Every hardship you endured was not wasted, but woven into the fabric of your becoming. Every tear, sleepless night, and lonely silence became a sacred initiation, not punishment, but preparation. For the path of a chosen soul was never meant to be easy. Betrayal taught you discernment. Loss carved resilience into your spirit. Solitude gave you unshakable faith in yourself and in the divine order guiding your steps. Looking back, the once insurmountable obstacles now reveal themselves as stepping stones, shaping your strength, awakening your spirit, and proving that what once looked like suffering was in truth the refining fire of destiny. Those who laughed at your pain now stand silenced by your triumph, burdened by regret as they realize you were never a victim, but a vessel of greatness they could not comprehend. The world has long conditioned people to stay small, to settle for mediocrity, to fear the unknown. But your very essence refuses to be confined by such limits. You are not here to blend in. You are here to disrupt illusions, to shift realities, to break generational cycles, to awaken others from the sleep of conformity. Your presence alone challenges the false comfort of the ordinary, and that is why your path was heavy, because the energy you carry is powerful enough to stir the very fabric of existence. And now, as you rise beyond every limitation, those who doubted you are confronted by the undeniable truth of your transformation, witnessing divine justice unfold in real time, forced to face that their mistreatment was never hidden from the universe. You are the living proof that spiritual power transcends all boundaries, the embodiment of karma itself, reminding the world that every word, every action, every intention leaves an imprint. Those who once dismissed your vision now long to understand the secret of your radiance, yet they cannot, because the energy you embody cannot be duplicated. It is divine, it is rare, it is yours alone. While they wrestle with regret, you move forward untouched, unstoppable, aligned fully with your higher calling. You are the karma they never foresaw, the lesson they never wanted to learn, the truth they cannot escape. You stand tall in your authenticity, walking in a light that was never meant to be hidden, carrying a power the world has yet to see in full. And when it does, they will know they never had the power to break you. for you were always destined to rise. If this message has awakened something deep within you, affirm your power in the comments. I am unstoppable. Every challenge has made me stronger. I am here to transform reality. If this message resonated with your soul today, know that your presence carries a powerful karmic signature, and the way people treat you will reveal more about their journey than yours. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to embody it. If you felt seen, inspired, or awakened in any way, please don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs this message, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more content that guides your spiritual awakening and personal growth. And don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss a moment of truth, healing, and higher consciousness. Until next time, walk boldly in your worth.